Welcome to the Fighting on Film podcast, the podcast all about classic and obscure war movies, from the Normandy landings to the days of chivalry and swords. If it's been captured on film, we're going to try and cover it. I'm Robbie of RM Military History.
I'm Matthew Moss of Historical Firearms and the Armourer's Bench.
Hello, welcome back to Fighting on Film. We recorded last week's episode and this week's episode back to back.
Yeah.
Because Matt was visiting FOF HQ, and we did two films. The first film was a rare one.
Silent Heroes. Definitely listen to that episode if you haven't caught it.
Yeah, please do. It's an interesting film. And we're on to more sort of Fighting on Film fare with the Asylum's 2023 release, Assault on Hill 400.
Brand new.
I think it's a couple of months old, if that.
Yeah.
At the time of review.
According to YouTube, the trailer was shared 3 weeks ago.
Oh well, there you go.
So it could be even newer than that.
Oh, okay. So yeah,
Eric Roberts' most recent credit.
Yeah, I came across it one night on YouTube, and I was just like, yeah, this will definitely be something me and Matt will want to watch. And it's just everything that the Asylum does in a nutshell.
And guess what? It's their 25th year anniversary.
You'd think in 25 years the films might have got a little bit better.
You know what? They've hit their anniversary year and done exactly what Asylum always do.
Yeah.
And make
interestingly tropey.
Just lacking.
See, the thing is, we're at the point now where they're shot decently well.
Yeah.
But everything else is just off. Like it was from the B tier actors, the poorly staged choreographed action, the threadbare plot. It's just everything's there. This is even. See, Rebels of PT Boat 216 or whatever. If you listen to that episode a few months back, then you know the kind of level that this movie is going in. But that was redeemable in the fact it was just so bad it was good. This is just bad.
Yeah, it had Danny Trejo too.
It had Danny Trejo, which was fun. And they were enclosed to a ship, whereas this is so much space for them to cover.
It's back to classic Asylum, where it's a small patrol going through some woodland, occasionally in a house, and it's just boring. Yeah,
and once you've seen... So the plot of this one is, it's set at Battle of the Hurtgen Forest.
Yeah.
It's meant to be a D company of the Rangers, and they're assaulting Hill 400, and then they have to hold it.
Yeah.
So some of it's based in fact, probably as far as it gets. You get some stock
footage. It's supposed to be about D
start.
company Rangers, isn't it? Second Rangers. And yeah, it's 8 guys, then 4 guys.
Yeah.
Walking through a forest.
Yeah.
Occasionally getting shot at by the same group of German dudes.
It's very confusing where they are and what they're doing, and
there's no plot.
The plot is so threadbare. It's go and assault the hill.
Billy Baldwin orders 8 men to take a hill that they've been trying to take for 3 months.
Yeah.
And it's the crux of the whole Allied line in the Hurtgen Forest. And then when they finally take the hill and they ask for reinforcements because there's just 4 of them left.
Yeah.
He's like, I can't possibly send any more reinforcements into Hurtgen Forest to secure that objective that I've been desperate to take for 3 months.
Bizarre. It's so bizarre. And like I said to Matt, the one thing that annoys me about the Asylum movies is that I don't know if anyone else thinks this, but I think they're meant to be taken seriously.
Yeah.
Because it's not filmed as a parody. It's not filmed as a pastiche. It isn't tongue-in-cheek. There's nothing about it is.
No.
It's just war film tropes done badly. And I get annoyed at them more than I do. Like, we have a laugh when we watch them. We wisecrack and we make jokes and stuff when we watch it. But it's the fact they want you to take them seriously that really just sticks in my craw a bit. And I'm like, I've had an idea for years to make a parody war film that is in the style of something like the sort of top Hot Shots movies, and you play into those tropes. But these movies don't do that.
No, they're doing the tropes, but in a there's no tongue in cheek knowing.
Yeah, is he just retreading old ground that's been done
like
so many times before?
Because basically, it's 4 guys and Eric Roberts as he isn't a war correspondent because he says he works for the government. So he must be like Signal Corps or
they never fully explain who he is, why he's there. Yeah, he's just your war correspondent trope, and the hard ass like corporal or someone is really mean to him for no reason. And he's like, "Oh, you're no use to me unless you pick up a gun."
Yeah,
and it's like, well, he can't really. If he's Signal Corps, he can. If he's a civilian, not really. Like, it's really annoying. And then you've got just old as time sergeants, and
everyone in this film is so old.
There's just stuff that normally I can let slide if the movie's good, but because nothing about this is redeemable, it's a shame. Like, it's
yeah. So it was directed by Christopher Ray. He has worked on interesting films such as Reptosaurus, Megaconda, Mega Shark versus Crocosaurus.
Wow.
Two-Headed Shark Attack, Shark Week, Asteroid versus Earth, Three-Headed Shark Attack, Dick Dickster, Assault on Station 33, and then this is his 21st movie.
Wow.
Assault on Hill 400.
So a lot of Asylum films there.
Fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough.
He's one of their go-tos by the look of it. Definitely. It was written by someone called George Clymer, who you will remember also wrote Rebels of PT-218.
Oh well.
So
that's the jewel in the crown.
It really is.
Of Asylum war films that we don't hate.
This is his second screenplay.
Okay.
After that one, and yeah, we've got classic Asylum artists. We've got Billy Baldwin. We've got Eric Roberts, and now we got Michael Madsen.
Yeah.
Who play the 2 generals, and God, are those scenes a struggle to watch.
Yeah. They should have pulped this fiction.
Oh. Yeah. Was he? Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was in that.
Of course, he's in Pulp Fiction. Yeah. He carves that bloke's Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah. Oh, that's a shame. That was a good one.
Throw this into the reservoir.
So, and then of course it's an Asylum film, so there's a raft of young actors that are rounding out some of the cast. Not as many as on PT-218.
No, not as many.
You've got a couple of younger actors, and basically they assault the hill.
Yeah.
They take a position of 5 Germans and MG34. They go up the hill a bit further. They take on a position of 3 Germans.
It's really formulaic.
And 2 MG34s.
Yeah.
Then they take out this bunker, which looks like someone's like patio with some breeze blocks. And that is 5 guys with 2 MG34s.
Yeah, they do that ad nauseum till the movie ends, practically.
They get all the way up the hill, and then they meet more Germans. Same Germans. It's the same dudes.
It is the same actors, and that's really jarring.
There's the really old. There's a scene where one really old actor grapples with one of the American GIs, and then he gets the better of him and he pulps his head.
Yeah.
And then he makes like a pun. Afterwards.
He makes a pun at it, and then it's they like build the character up to be an unhinged sort of person who's a bit burnt out, but then that's not what he is.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
He was at Point de Hoc.
Yeah.
Did you really? There's a bit where did you really like shave your head into a mohawk?
Yeah, and they're like, that's airborne.
That's
like,
airborne.
You're getting your tropes,
getting your D-Day American Elite
D-Day stuff mixed up. Yeah. It's really bizarre.
There's a distasteful Malmedy callback
shoehorned in right at the end.
It's so weird. I mean, then they turn up at like a field hospital, but it's run by 2 German nurses and no one else.
In the middle of nowhere.
And there's,
at the top of this hill, there's an old abandoned stately home or something. Yeah.
It's a very 1880s American house, which looks like it's been gutted.
Yeah.
And then like the head nurse kind of like falls for the squad leader.
Yeah.
And
kind of, not really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's a little peck on the cheek at the end, and it's God. Just like ludicrous stuff where she shoots a German officer because he's about to shoot him. And it's like, why would you do that though? Like, why?
I know. There's so many. The problem is, there's so many little vignettes in this of things you've seen done in other movies much better.
Yeah.
But none of it hits.
No.
None of it works. It's so formulaic. You've seen it a million times before. There's nothing redeeming.
Guy calling in fire support, and it's taking too long. Fire that's like too close, and it might kill their guys.
Yeah.
Wounded people turning up later on.
Yeah.
And but I mean, perhaps we should talk about some of the kit.
Yeah, let's do Alley Tally.
It's time for Alley Tally on Fighting on Film.
All right.
Yeah, like it's 90% decent. So they've got M41 jackets. They've got the right.
Got the Ranger tabs on.
M1 Garand belts on. But then it's all this ancillary stuff.
You've got the original Ranger tab as well, not the later one.
That's nice. But then it's the stuff that annoys me and irks me. It's this really simple stuff. They've got these weird, like, Bergen type rucks on. They don't need those. They've got another belt underneath their bar belt.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, like, some guys did it, but everyone's got it. They do the When Trumpets Fade thing, where everyone's wearing the same kit. So it starts to look a bit weird.
I think it's really interesting because the way they've done it is they've looked at who is going to be on screen the most. They get the best looking kit.
Yeah, that's true.
And then the ancillary members of the squad get slightly less good looking kit. And then the Germans get absolutely fucking atrocious stuff.
Yeah, just
like
mashed together.
Just the most basic, awful crap.
A grey greatcoat.
No webbing.
A helm. That's it.
Maybe a belt and a pouch or two.
Depends how.
There's a dude with a Thompson at one point.
Yeah, Matt's right. It depends if you're going to be featured on a few scenes. Do you get better kit or not? And then all the firearms, I think, are either rubber molds or non-firing DX.
Yeah.
Or like Denix replicas.
Yeah.
It's just it shows too much. No bolts move.
No.
It's all actors replicating shooting,
and they all do it to such a weird varying degrees of recoil. Like just one's like just shaking himself, and then others are just like. Pew.
And I know it's a way to save money, and it's safer.
Yeah.
Post rust and all that, and then that's becoming a thing in the industry.
But Asylum's been doing it for years.
Asylum's been doing it for a long time, but even then, you think, oh, we should maybe get a few either gas firing ones or something, just to maybe give like our hero, our main character one, because it just annoys me. There's only so many fake shootings I can.
It just looks naff.
Fake shooting I can take. It does look naff, yeah.
If you haven't practiced it and you all get to like the same amount of recoil, like there's 1,000 videos of M1 Garands being fired on YouTube.
Yeah,
just go watch like.
But then that would show a modicum of care. Like it is, and it annoys me. That feeds into because these movies just annoy me at this point.
Yeah,
where it's like I can tell effort's been put in to a certain point, like with the kit, like having one too many belts, one too many, like weird rucksacks. It's just one thing too many.
Yeah,
it pisses me off because I know it's not. I mean, it's someone's fault somewhere, but it's not like, a jobbing costume department, like head of costume department, or a jobbing researcher. It's not their fault. It's just there's not enough care.
They probably
somewhere.
They probably don't have enough money, enough time.
Yeah, exactly.
Enough incentive to really nail it all down.
Or budget.
Yeah, exactly. And some of it's fine. Like the nurse's uniform looked all right.
Nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
Like. The kit is not incorrect. in a lot of instances.
No,
like we've seen films where the kit is a lot worse.
Yeah.
But there was a Panzer Shrek.
I was a Panzer Shrek once.
The dude did a weird recoil move with that as well.
There was a Kugelwagen.
There was a Kugelwagen.
With clearly the owner of the Kugelwagen driving it. It's very funny.
Yeah.
And he mouthed his cue to one of the actors in the car.
Did he?
Nodded at him and he then drove off.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, so like the Kugelwagen arrives and out steps Head German.
Yeah.
Who then goes and walks into the hospital to negotiate their surrender.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute. But
it's just
yeah, I know. There was a couple of ropey plastic knives.
Yeah. Linger on them too much.
Yeah.
That's what's annoying. It's stuff like that. I'm like, I know it's safe, but you're just showing me too much.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that blade's too chunky and you're bending it.
And because you want me to take the movie seriously, when you can see people with like fake knives and things, I'm like, well, you're not taking your own movie seriously. So why should I as a viewer buy into what's happening?
Yeah.
You know?
Let's move on to general thoughts and final thoughts.
Yeah. Favorite scenes, final thoughts.
Yeah.
More loose. As I said last week, these couple of episodes can be more loose.
Let's do favorite scenes. I reckon we can pull one out of this. My favorite scene was the bit where they go into a random house, which is clearly not a German house.
Some stables.
Yeah, because it's like a farm.
Yeah.
Because Hurtgen Forest was known for its farms.
Oh yeah. Loads knocking around. There was towns in there and things, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Bergstein or something.
Yeah, but not
they're the place
not ranch houses anyway.
Hotel, didn't they? They had like a place they used. Yeah.
So there's a bit in that where it kind of breaks off into three bits. Two go into the house to kill some Germans quietly.
That's all they do in the
with
movie,
a knife.
Kill Germans.
Yeah. The same Germans.
Yeah.
Then there's like a bit with the youngest member of the squad and Eric Roberts, who kind of like schools him through it in a way.
Yeah.
And then there's a bit where there's two guys in the stables.
Yes.
And that's my favorite bit because there's two of them and one of them kicks a box when some Germans are walking by. And instead of like opening up with the advantage and firing, they sort of like run and take cover.
Yes.
And then there's a really boring firefight.
Yeah.
Where they pick like guys off in like one by one in tandem, while one dude's like stood in the middle, like firing, doesn't get a scratch. As soon as he turns and runs away, then of course then he gets shot.
Yeah, of course, yeah. It's just really cut and shut filmmaking.
It is.
Like there's nothing redeeming.
What was your favourite scene, Rob?
The start where they introduced what was happening in Hurtgen Forest and it was all stock footage.
Oh yeah,
because the Signal Corps in the Second World War just shot infinitely better film footage than this.
Asylum.
Like it, I'm being facetious there, but I don't really know. I like the scenes with Billy Baldwin and Michael Madsen because they're clearly just chewing the scenery, picking their check up, being the name on the door to get people in.
The best one is that end sequence where they're both holding like
little hip flasks, yeah,
and they like toast the victory
to the men of the free world.
Yeah,
as Michael Madsen
what are you doing?
It's
like,
so
what
funny.
Is this?
And then the two American NCOs who made it through, they just walk into the distance, but there's nothing behind them to walk to.
No,
it's really weird. Oh, I know. I like the thing they clearly spent a lot of money on, which was a really stupidly accurate for Asylum. Anyway, it had like jeeps and Dodge weapons carriers in it. CGI camp, like base camp, for Baldwin and Michael Madsen to be at. But then their bit was just one tent.
And they kept like framing the tent.
Yeah.
When they clearly moved it to another place to film.
It's weird.
And there's like an MG34 like on a bipod in front of the tent, and you're like, why is that there?
Like a 5 second.
And Baldwin keeps looking at it, but not mentioning it. And it's like, why are you doing this?
Like a 5 second CGI establishing shot of a US camp, World War II Army camp, was really well done. And I'm like, please don't tell me you spent.
It was ever so slightly better than the PT-218.
Yeah, exactly.
CGI.
It had the weird sort of like, and I'm not putting the CGI artist down because it's difficult and whatever, but like it had that Titanic 1997 robotic walking of the people on the deck.
Yeah, and then I think the most.
But it was good. It was nice. Good to see it.
The most money for the CGI was the bit where they shell the hospital.
Oh yeah, and that comes down.
Yeah.
But that could have been a preset for all we know. It could have been.
Could have been. Yeah. Could have. Yeah. But they kind of like modelled the house a little bit as well.
Yeah, maybe they
did.
Did. Yeah, maybe they did.
The effect is probably like stock.
Yeah,
but
it's fine. It's good enough.
I think the thing that annoyed me the most about the film was Eric Roberts not knowing how film camera works.
Matt was going spare on that.
Like I've shot film for years because I like.
I've got an iPhone, mate. It does the same job.
Oh my god! Stop. Like I like shooting on film and it's fun, but oh my god! So he's there and the poor man's there, like trying to do his day's work and just clicking constantly.
Yeah,
clicking, and everyone in the squad's getting annoyed. I'm getting annoyed because he's clicking and he's not advancing the film reel at all. Like
Matt was so hung up on that the whole movie. It's hilarious.
Like 35mm. Like you have to advance the film reel, otherwise you're just gonna like take multiple exposures. We're gonna get back with the entire Hurtgen Forest operation on one frame.
We said during he's doing a Robert Capa, where he's he's took 4 photos of Omaha Beach the whole day, and then allegedly had the film tampered with and put in a hot box. Not just avoided gunfire all day and not took many photos. Robert, that's one train of thought.
That is one thing they said about that.
I mean, if you're going to take 4 photos of Omaha Beach in 1944, take those 4 photos.
Oh, they're great. They're great photos. Yeah, I'm sure.
And then don't lie about not taking any more. No, I'm joking.
I'm sure that Eric Roberts' photographs were just as good. In fact, I know they were because he pulls out a couple out of
Eric Capa. Yeah.
Pulls out a couple out of his
public domain. Yeah.
And then he hands them, and the guys look at them, and then he goes, "You keep it."
Gee, that's a nice photo.
Yeah. You keep it.
You keep it.
Like, what are you going to do with that? Why are you carrying them around? Like,
in case someone calls into question his professionism.
That is it. Yeah, that must be it. That must be it.
Yeah.
It just really irritated me. Like, he was like clicking way too fast. Like film cameras, you can't click repeatedly. We didn't have like self-advancing film cameras until like the mid-70s.
This week on Fighting on Film, Matt mansplains photography.
Oh, I'm not mansplaining. I'm just angry.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I know. I get it. A lot of the movie is just very boring. So your brain went to those places.
It wasn't as entertaining as PT-218.
No, because they had that added.
But never mind.
They had the added pizzazz of filming it on a ship.
They did. There was no bulkhead shots. There was some quite competently shot bits.
Yeah, there were. There was some nice lighting, grading in places.
Some nice framing, and it was. Yeah, there was no lingering bulkhead shot, which disappointed me because that is my favourite shot in all of cinematic history.
It's a good one. I just think to round out my thoughts this week is that it's clear what I think throughout the episode. But I'm a bit tired of these ones. I'm just
thankful that after 25 years, Asylum did a war movie where they just continue to do what Asylum has always done.
They've unashamedly Asylum. I mean, you can't knock them for that.
Yeah.
But I would rather they maybe make a few less and compile some resources into one movie instead of like
put the budget
10,
together.
Cobble together something a little bit better.
What really annoyed me was like the end card that says something about D Company Second Rangers, and it's the film is
it's commemorated to them.
Commemorating the half-fought victory at Hill 400.
Yeah,
and I'm like, there's nothing about this film that commemorates this in a fitting way.
Not
It's nothing really.
No.
Like
It has nothing to say about anything enough. Like last week's movie that was trying to say too much and didn't know how to do it. This one just doesn't have anything to comment like efficiently enough. Like it's just a really cheap, bog standard, by the numbers, formulaic war movie with a few B movie stars from the 90s in it. That's all it is. And it's painful.
Yeah. And on that bombshell.
Do join us again next week when Matt should be back from America. That's why we're recording these back to back. Do keep it farting on film. Check out fartingonfilm.com for the back catalogue of the show. Maybe start from number 1 and work your way up to number 140 odd, whatever we're on.
I think we're at like 145.
Something like that. Yeah, 150's coming up, the big 150.
Who knows what we're going to do?
I don't know. Maybe the best of FOF.
Yeah, clip show.
Clip show. Yeah.
It's just no context clip show where it's just like, do you remember that bit in that film where that happens? And, you know.
Gee. Yeah. Me and you sat around a toasty log fire, like those weird South Park introductions in the 90s. Remember the train? Yeah, like that. Anyway, on another random reference that we love to pop in, do join us again and have a good week. Bye, everyone.
Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye. Fabuloso.